Right, boys. Day 52. Again, as I said out my videos were going to be more concise, and I wasn't going to waffle as much. So that's what I'm doing. I've got like a list of things that I want to kind of like go over. Also, you're pretty wondering why I'm wearing a hat. It's because I had a shower. My hair's flat, and it literally just like looks like a bowl cut when I have a shower. Well, it's not that bad, but so I've put this on because I'd like to look somewhat presentable on this YouTube channel. So anyway, with that said, yeah, I've got a list. So I'm just gonna go off everything, and then hopefully, I don't explain everything for too long, but we'll see. Anyway, so as I say, I know exactly what I'm doing. Like I know the goal. Obviously, it's 10K a month, and I know exactly how I'm gonna get to that goal. And it's just a case of being consistent and delivering on that every day. So just focusing down on what it is that I know I've got to fucking do to make that money, whether it's through one source or another source. There's two different sources. I go ham on both, and it's knowing how much, like, what I need to do with each source to get to the goal. So say I close a client, I get $1,000 or whatever, then that's like maybe I'll close 7 clients, and with the other thing I'll get less money. It's just like knowing how much you get for each thing, and then just adding up. Okay, if I close 10 clients, I'm getting $1,000 profit from each one. Then that's 10 clients, and I'm at the goal, right? So it's that kind of thing. I also haven't decided whether I want to do 10K dollars or pounds. I mean, we'll get there when we get there. We'll get there when we get there. Anyway, yeah, as I say, it's a case of staying consistent and doing the hard things day by day, and basically cutting distractions and fighting your urge to do other things while you're working. So when you're working, the urge to go on YouTube, the urge to go on Twitter, the urge to do whatever it is that you've kind of built in your subconscious mind, that's what you do when you get bored or stressed or whatever. So yeah, I think that's somewhat valuable if you know what your distractions are and you know how to cut them out. So yeah, just cutting down on distractions so you can stay focused in and honed in on one task for an extended period of time, which is also known as flow state. So it's a state of which you're working and you enter a state to which just kind of time flies by almost. You probably know what I mean, but time just kind of like goes and you don't know where it goes, but it's because you're so honed in on one thing, you're not thinking about anything else. It's like it's the same kind of idea if you do anything like very stimulating that's active. Like I can't think of an example, but well, I can. Maybe you go karting, right? You're in the zone karting. That goes so quick doing something like that. It's that kind of idea. But it's the same with work. You can kind of enter that state of, you know exactly what it is you're doing with music on, with lo-fi in the background, whatever it is, and you can just focus in and hone in on that one thing you're doing, and the time just kind of like flies by because you're so focused on that one thing. Whereas everyone kind of enters that shallow stage of work. They don't actually enter the deep part a lot of the time because everyone's always got a distraction. They want to check their phone, they want to check the notifications, they want to check whatever it is. So they don't actually enter that flow state, which the flow state is so powerful. And if you actually want to move forward as optimally as you can, and you, well, I guess want to, then you need to kind of allow yourself to enter that flow state as much as you can, rather than just kind of shallow working the whole time and constantly checking. So eliminating distractions, especially where you're working, in general, is good as well. But if you can eliminate them in general, then yeah, it's going to be incredibly valuable. Like your work, eliminate them in regards to where you're working. You're just going to be much more honed in on what you're doing. You're going to start to enjoy it more as well because you'll be less stimulated from outside sources, and you'll be more stimulated by why you're doing that thing, what the goal is you want to reach, and you're going to get stimulated by having W's every day and getting a lot of stuff done, to which you get into your bed and you're fulfilled with the amount of work you've done that day, that kind of stuff. So yeah, entering the flow state is a powerful thing if you allow yourself to do it. But a lot of people don't. They just kind of sit on this like 50% effort baseline, and they just go check YouTube or Snapchat, whatever. And they never actually enter that deep state of working on whatever it is. So yeah, that's basically what I'm kind of focusing on. It's like I'll be working and I'll have the urge of like, okay, I kind of like subconsciously go to check Twitter when I get stressed or bored most of the time while I'm working. I'm not saying I'm overly stressed, but it's just like that thing of like, oh, what do I write here? Or and I avoid that by going on Twitter. So it's realizing, okay, that's what I'm doing. I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna attack this problem head on and do it. So yeah, I think I said it in yesterday's video. It's the same, but the same applies today. But yeah, I also put a community post out this morning because I saw this tweet by D42, and the tweet says this. So this is kind of what I'm kind of structuring my stuff as, to an extent at the moment. But structure your grind like this: pure monk mode, no distractions, limits inputs into your brain. Do that for a couple of weeks or months. Take a break off work fully for a week. Holiday with your girl, nights out. What's the point of planting a tree without eating it? Now, of course, you need to have a girl to go on holiday with one. But, I mean, same applies. I think if also, I think it's going to be incredibly hard to do monk mode if you've got a girl. Or maybe people are like, yeah, there's a balance. But like allowing yourself to lock in and do certain things, I think, yeah, monk mode would be incredibly hard. Would be somewhat hard with a girl. But, yeah, I mean, obviously I haven't been that strict, and I feel like I should be. And it's a lot easier to say that I'm going to be strict because it sounds almost attractive to say, oh yeah, I'm going to be entering this monk mode period, I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to do this, whatever. But then when you actually do it, it's a completely different story. You've actually realised you've got to do it. It's all sunshines and butterflies in your head. But then when it actually comes to so many other like mitigating factors of the fact that you want to check this, you want to do this, you want to do whatever, and you want to go on YouTube or play games, and your friend messages, like, can you want to come out? All this shit. So it's quite hard when the actual event comes, but if you can stay disciplined to it, as I say, and just kind of just cut distractions, then I think that's a good way to do it. It's just pure monk mode, no distractions, limit inputs into your brain. So like limit just exterior things that don't actually move you forward in life, but you kind of feel inclined to check and you look at. If you go on yesterday's video, I put a tweet out in the description. I also read on the video that kind of covers like distractions in general and just social media and stuff, and how it just completely diverts your focus, and people use it as a way to relax, quote unquote relax, but they don't actually relax. They're just doing it to stimulate themselves more, to make them less relaxed. If that makes sense. It makes a lot more sense if you actually check the tweet. I mean, I'll link the tweet in this video as well in the description if you want to check it out. But yeah, it was a pretty interesting tweet, and he kind of articulated what he was trying to say very well. So I'd recommend checking that out. But yeah, there's that. That's what I'm trying to do. But obviously, I don't want to sit here and talk all this talk and then not actually walk the walk. So yeah, I'm gonna just try and stay ham on what it is I'm saying in these videos as best I can, which I have been. But there's been days where I've been completely off track, and I need to sort that out. So yeah, and then two more things. What I found is using unstimulated music. It kind of goes back to the same point. Using unstimulated music like cafe jazz or lo-fi beats, or this thing called Brain FM, which you pay an annual, or you can pay monthly or annual subscription. It's not much. It's like £3-4 a month, but it's like proper. I don't know if it's just a placebo, but it plays music that supposedly focuses your brain in more and hones you in more on work and whatever, which is scientifically proven, whatever. But yeah, it helps me. You can get like a 14-day free trial. I'll link it in the description. I have not got an affiliate link. I'm just promoting it. It's not like I get that many views anyway. I don't think I get much from the affiliate link regardless. But I do recommend Brain FM. If you want to try it for 14 days, you can get a free trial. I think it's 14 days. It might be a 3-day free trial. I don't know, but I think that's pretty good. You can do whatever, Spotify, but basically, on the whole, using music that isn't overly stimulating, like, I don't know, Drake or beats or whatever it is that you kind of like. Just check I'm recording. Then I think it makes life so much easier for you, because with that you always want to change the song. You're like, oh, I've listened to this loads, I want to change it, and you're like singing it and whatever. It's just kind of hard to lock in. Whereas if you're listening to something that's just background noise, you kind of forget everything that's around, and it just kind of like locks you in on the screen in front of you. So I think listening to unstimulating music makes a massive difference, like a massive difference. So I recommend trying that out to all of you as well, which I've been doing, but I'd recommend it for you too. And also, I've said recently that oh fuck, one of the most valuable things I can learn at the moment, or do at the moment, is obviously outreach, but and and getting people on calls. But another thing is optimizing my sales game. If you can be a good salesman, you'll never go broke. I mean, people have said that. I'm basically paraphrasing because so many people have said that in the past, and you've probably seen other people say that. But if you learn how to sell, you learn how to sell well, like you're ahead of the game entirely. It's an incredibly valuable skill to have. I'd say it's more valuable than any other skill you can have in like life in general, because sales isn't just money. It's relationships, it's friendships, it's business partners, it's everything. It's even having kids or being parents is like selling although it sounds like quote unquote manipulation to someone who doesn't know what it is, hasn't really done it before. It's a way of you'll think of it as like of manipulation, but it's a way of getting someone to do what you like want them to do, but not in a malicious kind of way, but in a way in which you want your child to, I don't know, eat with a knife and fork, or put his fork in his right hand and thing in his left hand. There's so many ways you can sell that, but one way, for example, it would be you set by example. You kind of show to your son, your kids, like, okay, I got my left fork here, knife here, and it's like, oh, let me copy daddy, and then he does that, and then same kind of thing, right? But it works with everything. So that it's just human psychology. It's a way of kind of like understanding human psychology and how to sell them. And obviously, I'm not the best at it. I'm not saying I am. I need a lot more practice. But I got a pointer from my friend earlier about like a specific thing in regards to messaging and being a bit more demanding and less friendly while messaging people, because they respect you a lot less if you're a bit more friendly, if that makes sense. You don't have as much credibility. It's all this kind of stuff, right? It's down to personal opinion, of course, but sales is an incredibly valuable skill to have. And if you can get on a call and you can like make someone get onto your way of thinking, then yeah, it's incredibly valuable. So the reason I say that is because I've got this book. It is called Secrets of Closing the Sale. It was one of the most recommended. Well, I say recommended, but it's recommended by like the top dogs. I don't think many people have already talked about this, but it's called Secrets of Closing the Sale by Zig Ziglar. And I'll link the book on Amazon in the description. It's like £10 on Amazon. It's incredibly valuable. It's like what 400 pages, but it's the same kind of thing. If you make an SMMA, which is what all of the gurus push, or whatever it is they're pushing, and you have to get on a call with a supposed client, anything like that, it works with any endeavor. But if you can optimize the way that you speak to them and the way you handle their objections and state certain things and say, what difference would an extra $2,000 do for your life? And they kind of go in their head, they're like, okay, I want $2,000. That would be that would be good for my life. What would I do with that $2,000? I could buy a car. I wouldn't have to pay for. I wouldn't have to worry about rent. I could pay for my kids' stuff. I could do whatever. So then they kind of like, okay, how am I going to get that 2K? Well, it's right in front of me if I accept this, and this guy does a good enough job at articulating what it is that he's selling, and their service is actually good, and he believes in what he sells, to which their sale is going to be much more credible, and he's going to believe what he's saying much more. So it's a load of different stuff like that. I'm not going to go into the how to sell right now. I mean, there's loads of different ways to do it, but yeah, it's basically just getting someone onto your way of thinking, and just basically making things a lot more clear in their head on what it is you're selling and what they're going to get from it, what you're selling, why they've gone the call, all this kind of stuff. So I do recommend reading this. Of course, this isn't going to be as valuable as actually going into a call and practicing yourself and looking back on your calls and being like, okay, this wasn't as good. I could change this. Why did I say this? I shouldn't have said this. And just kind of like picking stuff out and kind of perfecting it there. But in general, if you were to read this book and then do sales, then I think you're going to be ahead of a lot of people straight away. And if you just kind of like remember this stuff as you go along, your threshold's going to be so high before you start. And then you're just going to keep going up and up and up. You're going to have such a high ceiling if you know how this works. So, and do it from the pros rather than just trying to teach yourself. So, yeah, I think sales is an incredibly valuable thing to learn. So, yeah, give this book a read if you can. But what I will say is don't say, oh, I'm going to read this book, then I'll start doing sales. Don't think like that. Although it may be valuable to do so, don't don't be conscious of being a perfectionist, because if you're trying to be a perfectionist, then you're never going to start, and you're just going to keep like, nah, I could learn a bit more, I don't know if I'm ready yet, or you just got to fucking start, right? You just got to start, and then you can just read this as you go, kind of thing. Because if you don't start, then you're never going to get anywhere, and if you try and perfect everything, then you're just going to be sat in the same hole forever. So yeah, there's that. Sorry, I need to go to bed. But on that note, on sales, I don't think there's much more I need to say. It's just a case of being consistent, doing exactly the things that I don't necessarily want to do, but I know that I need to do, and staying consistent with them and eliminating distractions. Simple as that. We go tomorrow. It's really annoying because I'm busy from 9 until 12 the next week straight. So I can't like get up and just like wake up, have a shower, and just like lock in like I want to. I've got to do that first, and then quote unquote lock in after that. But you know, not everything's going to be perfect in life. You've got to deal with it the best way you can, and that's what I'm doing. So yeah, with that said, thank you for watching the video. I don't think there's much more I need to go over. It's been a relatively short one, but yeah, I will see you tomorrow night for day 53. And again, I appreciate all your comments and everything so much. And I mean, I'm not taking them for granted. I genuinely, so fulfilling and nice. I appreciate it so much. So thank you for all the support. And if you want to drop a like on this video, feel free. If you don't, it's perfectly fine. I'm not too bothered, but I'd appreciate it if you did. And yeah, I'll link the stuff in the description. But yeah, I appreciate you guys, and thank you for watching the video. See you tomorrow night. Cheers.